everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your mom's favorite baseball history podcast. My name is Jeff. I'm one half of the show as usual. And joining me from the Pacific Northwest in the JJ Put studio this week, it is my co-host, Mark A. Johnston. Mark, how you doing?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, the JJ Puts studio, a couple of good years. We had a lot of saves here in the studio.
In the studio. It did take place in what, Safeco at that point? It was in the studio.
It was Safeco, yes.
All right.
But we had saves in the studio, too. It's just hard to explain in layman's terms. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Anyway.
For the idiots is what it means, which would be you describing it for me. So, hey, gotcha. Let's get into our BP segment right away. I mean, I've been talking about the WBC on the streams on YouTube and Twitch. I think we're going to move on from the WBC. I've had enough of it. It was really weird this year. But let's get into our BP segment and let's talk about something better. Mark, we've talked about former Yankee athletic. I don't remember where else he went, but Hideki Matsui. Mm-hmm. Well, we've described his collection as one of his hobbies as an extensive, very extensive collection of adult physical media is the way we'll describe that.
Yeah.
And I guess when you've watched enough of something, you get to the point where people consider you an expert at it, right?
Yeah, pretty much anything.
So Hideki Matsui is scheduled to give a special lecture at the 44th annual meeting and academic conference of the Japan Society of Fertilization and Implantation.
Wow.
So they're saying that he is going to come and speak because he was a classmate in middle school of the conference president. I think it's because he's an expert. Like I said, you watch that much. I mean, he probably only watched it in like 5-minute increments, but still, he is an expert on that kind of stuff. So I guess you would have him come and talk about fertilization and implantation.
You know, it's interesting. Some things you're born into, other things you choose. You decide what you're going to be an expert in, and that's an interesting choice on his behalf.
Yeah, he's the foremost, I guess, expert on that kind of stuff. All right, Mark, new rules coming. I don't know if I'm sure there's some rule tweaks in the MLB that I'm unaware of, but in the minor leagues, where they always test things out before it gets to the big leagues, like the ABS. I mean, that's been the pitch clock. All those things were in the minors before they made the big leagues. So here are some of the rules that they are going to be implementing in various levels of the minor leagues. The first one, and I hate this, they're just hell-bent on getting stolen bases up. So, bases are 90 feet from each other. From the edge of the bag to the edge of the other bag, it is 90 feet. Or no, since the bases are bigger now. But what they're going to do is they're going to move second base a little bit closer, it seems, which will make it a little bit closer to first base, which is, it's not much. It's a 3-inch difference. But still, they already made the bag bigger. I mean, it's over half a foot closer now with that thing. So I'm not a fan. Just leave it alone. Everything comes back into vogue. We'll get back to stealing bases.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Along the lines of the ABS, which we just mentioned, in the PCL, there is going to be a check swing challenge.
Yes.
Where you can challenge whether a check swing was a actual check swing or not. I think they could handle this even better. I mean, sure, they've got technology apparently, so they can tell if the bat handle is greater than a 45-degree angle. That's what they're doing it on. Why don't you just not let the home plate umpire call them, and you just have to, go down to first or third every time?
That would make sense.
I think we're getting to a point where everything is going to be judged artificially, and it's going to take away some of this stuff. I don't like. So far, we're 0 for 2.
You don't like either of these.
No. Let's see. Last year, the average time of game in Major League Baseball went up 2 minutes to 2 hours and 38 minutes, which I'm still pretty pleased with. What they're going to do is they're talking about not in single A, they're not going to let batters request a timeout at any point unless there's a runner on base. And then they'll just get their one. But otherwise, they're just you're in there.
I guess so. Wow.
And PitchCom issues are going to count as mound visits. So I guess what they're saying is if your PitchCom stops working, you're going to have to flash signs.
Yep.
I mean, why not? Did you see all of the location and pitch tipping from second base during the WBC? I mean, they were so obvious about it too.
Yeah, there was no sneaking around.
No, they're just pointing, wave, like they're doing semaphore on second base.
They are.
Because what are you going to do? You're not going to hit somebody in the World Baseball Classic because the games are too important. You might see some sort of retribution in a major league game and everyone will be like, why do these two guys have beef? But I don't know. They're also talking about reducing the disengagement from 2 to 1. So that's really getting it. And then they're also talking about this returning starters to the game. So as long as the re-entry occurs in the inning that immediately follows the starter's departure, they're eligible for re-entry.
Weird.
And they must throw at least 25 pitches in the inning during which they are removed. I don't like any of these.
I don't know. That one really strikes me negatively.
Yeah, I am open to there's the suggestion of you lose the DH when you take out your starting pitcher, which I like. The Players Union would obviously never go for that, but I like that because then it gets back to you've got to manage your pitcher and where they are in the lineup and
some actual strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, you've already got expanded. You got 26 players now instead of 25 or even 24 way back in the day. So you've got enough players.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like those. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about the NPB, their season getting ready to get started as well. They have implemented a new rule that I likewise do not like. First of all, they had a rule that I didn't know already, where when you get to the Climax Series, the essential World Series of the NPB, the series starts with the higher seed team getting a ghost win. So you start with a 1-0 advantage before anybody's played a game. I don't like that at all. But now what they're talking about is that if you are playing a team that in the regular season had a winning percentage of less than 500, or you finished 10 games behind the pennant winner, you are going to give up 2 ghost wins to the higher seeded team.
Wow.
So that's half of that's half of what you need.
Weight the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're down 2-0 already. That just doesn't seem fair. I mean, obviously they're trying to weight the regular season performances more, but that's extreme. Right.
Make it more important. That's very extreme. Yeah. Two games.
Yeah. It's a 2-game series. You win one of those like 2 at home, and then you're like, I got to win 1 out of the next 5 games.
Right.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
Me neither.
What I do like, though, is the shrinkening. It's happening in MLB. It's short king summer, y'all, coming up. So we know the ABS. We can't get off the ABS. But Major League Baseball is having to they're not having to. They have recorded everybody's height in a special way during spring training here so that everybody has their individual strike zones so that when a pitch is challenged, it is matched to their body type. The exact math used is the top of the zone is 53.5% of the measured height. The bottom is 27, and I don't know where the rest of it is. It didn't tell me.
I think the listeners should insert their own Jose Altuve joke.
Oh, I've got one. Yeah, hold on to that.
Okay.
They noted that every player was remeasured this spring training to ensure the digital strike zone would be perfectly calibrated. I have made some wrestlers in a creator wrestler in WWE video games that would have no strike zone at all if this is the case, because you can really make some things. Ryan McMahon, I guess of the Rockies, is probably where most people know him from. He tried to slump as much as possible during their official measurements, he said, hoping that what it probably did is just lowered his strike zone. He probably screwed himself there.
Brought the knees down even lower. Yeah.
Yeah. But one guy that got nicked a bit was Gavin Lux. So he was listed last year as 6'2", and coincidentally wore number 2, jersey number 2. After being measured this year, he is now 5'11".
Whoa.
That's 3 inches. And as a man, I know that's a lot.
Wow.
So,
wow, that's crazy.
So he's 5'11", so he's changed his number to 11, which he's got a good sense of humor.
That is pretty funny. It's interesting how, these teams are fudging numbers now and then.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny to see it come out.
Yeah. Also, Connor Wong also lost 3 inches. And that was collaborated by both Sports Illustrated and the Times of India. They're all over this.
Oh, the Times of India. Well, shoot, that's a done deal.
Yeah. A couple of players did actually gain some inches. Again, it's a man. I tell you, it helps. Osvaldo Cabrera went from 5'11" to 6 foot. Anthony Volpe gained an inch, 5'9" to 5'10", as did Ben Rice, who used to be 6'1", now he's 6'2". These guys are still growing. They're so young.
Yes, that's it.
It's interesting, though, because you mentioned Jose Altuve. He stayed the same height. You would have thought that it's somewhere along the line he would have added, or the Astros would have added an inch or two, so he's not listed at like 3'4", but no, he's still the same height. You can, all those measurements that you made using Altuve's as a unit of measurement back a couple of years when that was a thing, they're still all good.
Yeah, this is true. You can build stuff in Altuve's, and apparently
it is,
those of us that lie about our height can take a page from Mr. Altuve, and you don't need to do such a thing.
What do you say you are, and how tall are you? We're spilling all the tea here.
Well, I always thought it was 5'8", and then recently I was the doctor, and they said, "Oh, you're 5'8.5", and I was like, I grew right on. So, I still got a shot at 6 foot, I think.
By the time you're 173,
right,
you should be.
I gotta not shrink like you normally do.
Yeah. I am
battle to shrink.
I've not measured myself forever. I'm either 5'10", 5. I usually just say 5'10", because
you're taller than me.
5'11" seems a little like I'm showing off, and I don't think I'm that tall. In wallets they used to give you those cards, like ID cards, where you'd fill out all your information. Am I the only one that remembers that? I doubt they do it anymore.
No, I remember those.
Yeah, this was back in the day. I mean, I remember my first wallet. I remember it vividly. It was a fake leather. It was a Spider-Man wallet, but it had one of these ID cards in it, and I filled it out. And when it got to sex, I put none. I was like 5. That is a family joke that will not let it. I can't get away from it.
I see. Okay.
I was a little shocked. I remembered that was in there, and I'm like, as a 5-year-old, girls are gross. Get me out of here. Oh, all right. That'll do it for our shrinking part of this. Let's let the grounds crew come out and do their thing. It is time, Mark. I'm not sure we've done one of these for a while, but it's a week that we are going to go ahead. We're just going to do some shorter stories that don't warrant an entire episode. So it is our Tales from the Dugout. I have no idea how many we have done now. It's been a while. This is show 315, so it's a good amount. But let's go ahead and get into this, Mark. I'm going to start off with one of these stories. We're going to travel back to the year 1900 on the dot. It's July 12th, and a couple of members of the New York Giants, they're heading to the Polo Grounds. I'm talking about George Davis, Kid Gleason, future manager of the Black Sox. I think George Davis is a Hall of Famer. And Mike Cahoe. They're on a streetcar. No idea what it was named. This isn't New Orleans. I was going to go there. Yeah, it's not New Orleans. We're in New York. So they're on a streetcar. They're heading to the Polo Grounds, and they're playing the Phillies that day, apparently. And as they are riding in the streetcar, they see an apartment building engulfed in flames. And everybody is just standing around recording this fire with their cell phones, apparently.
Yeah.
As people do, especially in 1900. Yeah. So the Chicago Tribune reported it this way. They said that the trio, quote, were among the first on the scene and worked like Trojans in carrying down the helpless.
Wow.
Quote. It's very flowery. They saw a woman on the top floor, George Davis, went up the ladder like a squirrel, is what they said, and reached her, carried her back down. Davis and Gleason reportedly climbed up a fire escape and pulled this woman and a child through a window and then helped them climb down to their safety. So, wow. Life-saving rescues sussed. The fire department showed up. They're like, all right, you guys got it from here. We got a game to play. And so off they head, just a normal back to their day job. The Giants trailing 10-5 in the ninth inning of this game. They come back to force extra innings after a 2-run shot in the ninth by Kip Selbach. Show favorite Kip. After giving up 3 runs to Boston, though, I think I said they were playing the Phillies, but here there's a lot of conflicting reports here. They went to extra innings. They gave up 3 runs in the top of the 10th. The Giants, couldn't be Boston. This is not the World Series. That's the Phillies. Let's get this straight. My brain's figuring this out in real time. So the Giants aren't feeling good. They're down 3. They're in the bottom of the 10th. They scored 5 apparently in the bottom of the 9th, but that was kind of all they felt they had in their tank. So they come up with a plan. Let's stall. All right. No lights. Games get called on account of darkness. They're ties at that point. So let's stall here in this inning. The umpire behind the plate was Tommy Connolly that day. Just let's get him to call this game. So the Giants started lighting pieces of paper as they pretended to look for their bats. It's probably like 3:00 in the afternoon. It's July. I mean, come on. It's going to be light out until like 8:30, 9:00. They're doing all these things. I mean, we've talked about these kind of games where teams would stall and, do these antics to just take up time. They refused to step to the plate until they were threatened with being called out, which would get them closer to actually possibly ending the game. Fans in the stands started to light things on fire, which in New York is never a good thing. The New York World reported that there were, quote, 50 small bonfires burning at once in the grandstands and bleachers, end quote. I'll take that with a grain of salt, but whatever. The tactic worked, though. Eventually, with 2 on and 2 out, a blast here. They're tied again, but 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 10th. Connolly finally calls it. The game is a tie. Selbach and Davis and Jack Doyle, the first baseman, were fined $5 each for their roles in this, which would be today about $150. I don't even think that's per diem for big leaguers this day. George Davis, though, it should be mentioned, he did hit a triple that afternoon, despite his face reportedly being blistered from the heat of the fire. Tough guy. He's a hockey player is what he is.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I had not heard that story. Didn't know that.
No, I never heard that. That's interesting.
That seems like something that we would have come, especially when we were talking about games that, well, I guess we just talk about the game, lighting the fires and stalling. We don't really care how they got to the ballpark.
That's true too. Well, we do now.
Yeah, it's now known to us. So
yes, we know it's a big deal. Well, that was cool, man. I got kind of an interesting story. It's about a pretty short night game that took place in 1944. So it's August 10th. This is wartime baseball. You got your patched together rosters. Night game under the lights at Crosley Field. Boston's National League club is rolling into town to face the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati sending out Bucky Walters as an MVP.
It's a big draw at the gate. Bucky Walters, I'm telling you.
And he's a guy you send out there you expect to win. Boston counters with Red Barrett.
Oh, wow. Pitching matchup. All right.
Not flashy, not overpowering, but he does throw strikes, as we will see here. The game starts, and immediately, it's something special because it's pitch, contact, out, pitch, contact, out. All right. You're settling into your seat that you just got there, and it's the second inning. You blink, and half the lineup has already hit. No deep counts, no drama, no strikeouts, just baseball at its absolute bare minimum. Here's the ball, put it in play. Thank you. Next. So Boston scratches a run across in the second inning. Nothing special, just enough to get on the board. And then in the fifth, they add another one. So it's a 2-0 lead. And now you're thinking, all right, Reds will adjust, of course, and they do not adjust. Barrett's out there just throwing hittable pitches like it's EP, and Cincinnati is just happily obliging by hitting everything directly at somebody. So Barrett gives up 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. which is almost harder to do because think about it. It's harder than throwing a no-hitter because it means everybody's swinging, everybody's making contact, and everybody's getting out. So it's like a perfectly choreographed routine of failure. Meanwhile, Walters is doing his job. He gives up just 2 runs, a totally winnable game, but it does not matter because Barrett has turned the entire night into a speed run. 9 innings, no interruptions, no nonsense, no pitching changes, 1 hour and 15-minute ball game.
What?
Okay. And then you get to the stat that just blew me away. All right. 58 pitches.
What?
The man threw 58
to get
pitches.
27,
That's
58
right.
pitches.
Complete game shutout, 58 pitches.
That's an average of barely over 2 pitches per batter.
It's pretty awesome. When I read about this, I was like, man, what would that drive my hourly wage to? Because, we get paid by the game.
It would cost more in gas to get there than to what you'd make from the game.
Yeah. So that means so you only faced 29 batters total. That means every single Reds hitter walked up, swung early, and politely exited like they had somewhere else to be. Final out, hits a glove, game over. Boston wins 2-0. And the crowd is probably sitting there like, okay, so that was the prelim. Where's the real game? What's going on? It was just no fireworks, no legends being made, just one pitcher and one philosophy. What? Throw it down there, let them hit it, let your fielders handle the rest.
What was the attendance? Because you said this was wartime, so it's not, these are not major league players for the most part. What was the attendance in this game?
That's a good question. I have it up here somewhere. 7,783.
Yeah. I would call that a pretty decent attendance then for that kind of game. I wonder how many showed up after the 6th inning, which is probably like 40 minutes in.
Yeah, what do you mean it's 8th inning? What's going on?
Beer sales is over. I just got here.
Yeah, so that's the shortest night game that's ever been played.
Jeez, what did you say? $140?
1 hour, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Jeez. We joke when we stream because the older games that you don't have a time of game, they'll usually just put an hour and 50. That's like the default. That's the default game time.
Yeah.
An hour and 15 minutes. Man. They make a cheap Dodgers joke from the 80s as half the fans would have missed the game.
Yes, of course. Throw that out there with the Jose Altuve hype joke.
We're just recycling all the greatest hits.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So I got one more story here. After this, we're going to be heading into Wax Pack Zeros, which is very centered on baseball cards. So I've got a couple of related baseball card stories here that I had not heard about. So have you ever heard of Mike Proley?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
May I ask why?
Was he? Hold on. Let me make sure I got the right guy. Was he in the Twins organization?
Let's see. He never made the big leagues on the Twins. Right. No, he was not. Man, oh wait, no, yeah, no, yep. Hey, 1977 Tacoma.
I do remember that. That's really weird.
Yeah. So he is essentially, though, he's a reliever. He was actually a pretty decent reliever. Pitched for 7 years in the big leagues. Lifetime ERA of 3.23. Let's see, 545 innings, struck out 180, but he walked 195. So there's your problem right there. is the walks, a whip of 1.33 for a reliever. So he was there. He was a righty. He pitched, kind of bounced around, had a okay career, but he went into coaching after he retired. So he was with the Rochester Red Wings here, and he's a coach. So it's picture day for the Red Wings. And Pro Cards, which is a small company at this point in 1990, they are doing minor league cards. So they got a photographer shows up at the Red Wings Stadium to take the coaches' pictures. Proley was nowhere to be found, though. They didn't know where he was, couldn't find him. So rather than waiting or maybe coming back later or another day, the photographer just snapped a picture of an empty bullpen bench where he was going to have Proley sit for this card. It's just an empty bench. So in the biggest So in a big display of, well, that's not my job for both the photographer and if there was such a thing as an editor at Pro Cards, nobody saw anything wrong with this picture at all. They cropped it, put it on a card that says Mike Proley, coach, and they were printed.
That's awesome.
So now it said thousands were distributed in these 1990 packs featuring a weathered green bench, some grass, and a brick wall. It said thousands. I could not find a single picture of it. It's so elusive. It's a collector's item that I could even find a picture of it on the internet. So if somebody can point me towards one, I would love to see it because it seems meme-worthy to me. But this reminds me of a photographer that I talked about just last episode. It was sent to take Ken Williams pictures and instead shot a whole roll on Baby Doll Jacobson.
Right. That's right.
Hey, man, I was there on time. I gave him like 5 minutes. If he doesn't show up, what am I supposed to do?
The Mike Proley brick wall error.
Yeah, I took a picture of where he was supposed to be, and then I'm out. That's all you pay me for. I mean, this is really, though, the peak of the wax pack, junk wax era, though, right? So many cards are produced that the quality control was... Right. It's like... The quality control of Mark DeRosa grasping the rules of the first round of the WBC. Just didn't get it. Ooh. It was the only card that anybody can figure out that contains exactly 0% of the player that is listed on the card. Which I guess isn't true because there are cards like that Gary Pettis card where it's the Bat Boy or, somebody's brother. That's 0% of the player that was supposed to be there. So I find fault in that statement that I just made. So
wow, you're on top of it today, sir.
Yes. So there's Mike Proley. Now, in a related document, I wanted to talk about your favorite player of all time, Derek Jeter.
Oh, good.
Now, this isn't really a Derek Jeter story. He's just involved in it. But likewise, we're still in that junk wax era. 1992, there's a company called Little Sun, or at least it's called the 1992 Little Sun set. Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
Me neither. It was produced by a little company in Monrovia, California. They only made about 3,000 sets total. So in 1992, there's this kid, Chad Roper. He is a can't-miss prospect. Also, the illegitimate son of one of the Ropers on Three's Company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I made that
interesting
up.
to know.
I made that up. He was
Stanley and Helen?
Stanley and Helen, yes. Probably Stanley's. Probably stepping out on Helen and those moo-moos. So he's a second-round draft pick, 64th overall by the Twins. He's a power-hitting third baseman out of South Carolina. And actually, a lot of scouts were higher on him than this skinny kid from Michigan, Derek Jeter. Roper was chosen, along with 3 other players, to sign 250 cards in this set. Now, this is something that they just didn't do at this point. There weren't autograph sets, especially rookie cards of guys that were just drafted. Like they're nowhere near the big leagues. So they chose 4 players to sign 250 cards. So you've got this Chad Roper, you've got Jeter, they've got a guy named Jason Kendall, who went on to have a fantastic major league career, and Dave Landecker, who I don't know why I'm just looking this up right now as we record, but I think he made the big leagues. Let's see. No, he did not make the big leagues either. Spent a couple of years in the Astros organization, but never got higher than A-ball. But so we've got Chad Roper here. He was climbing the minor league ladder until his average dipped into the low 20s, and he eventually transitioned to trying to pitch in 1997 to save his career, but an 8.93 ERA is hard to come back from. So actually in this set, collectors were chasing this Chad Roper card, not the Derek Jeter cards.
Oh, wow.
This is a very small company, like I said. So many of the so they printed out more than 250 of these cards. They got 250 signed, but they still had an extra couple hundred of each of these that they started to just hand out to, the players themselves, maybe some people in the company. But what happened here caused a kerfuffle. I used that earlier in the day. It sounds like a boomer word, but again, it's this great word. It really works here.
Yeah.
These extra cards, somebody got a hold of them and they sold them to an unscrupulous dealer, which describes a lot of them, let's be honest here. He acquired a large stack of these unsigned Jeter and Roper cards. And, they're the exact same ones that people are pulling from packs. So he just started signing them with the names of Chad Roper and Derek Jeter, of course. But these are sought after cards at this point. And, I've got 200 of them here.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Jeter's signature evolved over time. So these forgeries were harder to spot because Jeter has a bunch of different ways that he has signed his name. And so you don't actually know. There's no certificate of authenticity with these things. PSA actually stopped grading the Little Sun autographs for a while because they couldn't distinguish between the official 250 that were polled and the ones that were backdoored is what they're calling it. I had to look up what backdoored meant. I had no idea. I could not figure it out. So if you find a Chad Roper card, hang on to it. And this is, by the way, a new segment that we're trying out. It's called Baseball Cards That Actually Exist, but Jeff can't find a picture of even on the internet.
This is a great segment.
We're still workshopping the name, but maybe we can get a theme song written about that. It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, seriously, because I think people would come in just if we had that as segment once every month or so.
I cannot find any of those cards. I thought the Chad Roper card I could find. The Mike. Actually, you know what? I don't know why either of them I couldn't find, but I could not. So, if you know of a Chad Roper picture of that card or the Mike Proley card, let me know because I'd like to see it. And I know we've got a couple of guys that listen to this show that I'm guaranteeing you will come through for us. So we'll check back in later and see how they look. All right, let's see. Producer Mitch, he's here. He's got his hair coiffed, getting ready for the regular season. You never see
Big
Mitch
sign
with
that says "Get on with it."
Yeah, Mitch doesn't wear hats a lot. At least he doesn't keep them on, does he? Because he wants to show that off. And hat hair is a thing.
You fork over a lot of money for those things.
For hats?
You want to show them off. No, for weaves.
He could get a hat that has those ones that have like a mullet hanging out of the back.
Yeah.
Or ponytail. He should just get one that's just got the same hair.
Think of all the girls he'd pick up.
All right. Well, I can see he's now frantically telling us to move on. So we're going to move on to the final segment of the show. This is the segment that we've called for quite a while. And we're going to continue to call Wax Pack Heroes. Wax Pack Hero! Gotta pull a Wax Pack Hero! Got stars in his eyes. Wax Hero! On the podcast tonight.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Wax Pack Heroes. You know, Wax Pack Heroes backwards is so a cat zow. Hey, the rules were simple. Jeff and Mark are here from Two Strike Noise. Long-time friends of mine, Jeff and Mark. They're going to play an old-fashioned game of war. But instead of using playing cards, they're going to be using Budweiser's. Hey, what? Okay, no, they're going to be using baseball cards. That makes much more sense. They'll be using War of the Year of the cards, and whoever has the highest war that round wins. Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win, just like that. But there are extra factors, Arnie's telling me, that can add or subtract from their war totals. 1980s baseball aesthetics. There you go. Extra points. Hall of Famer, Bud lover, extra points. And if they have a pop culture reference, like they were in a Budweiser commercial, extra points. But whoa, Nelly, if they appeared in Seinfeld, The Simpsons, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and they get a whole extra point. Or if Nolan Ryan or Ricky Henderson show up, the round is over and we drink Budweiser's. Hey! But they can also lose points if they show up in the Mitchell report or are on the do not talk about list. You know who I think should be on that list, Arnie? Mark Gredzalonic. And that guy's name is too difficult. They can also get more points if they led the league in any good categories that season, if they won any warrants, and if they have a Costacos brother poster. Oh boy, I could go for some tacos. I love tacos. But if they top the leaderboard in something bad like errors or spilling Budweisers, they're going to get a minus point. So no. Hey, let's wrap this up and go get some tacos and some Budweiser. Now, let me hear you. 1, 2, 3. Wax Pack Heroes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harry Carey, for reading those directions and singing a little bit for us there at the end. That's always great. Mark, looking at the scoreboard right now, you're on a heater right now. You're up 9-8. You won a couple in a row here. We're struggling. We're worried, and my job is on the line here, so I'm on the hot seat. I need to come up with some wins here. We are going to keep going on with these 2003 tops. One of our listeners mentioned to me, I seem to be getting roasted with these cards. Why not go for another different year? But we're going to keep going.
No, we don't want to do that.
We're getting some names that we don't typically hear. So I'm going to shuffle these up a little bit because the manager cards are on the front and tend to be the same kind of things everywhere. So, Mark, do you want to go? You know what? Screw it. I've lost like 8 in a row. I'm going first.
Okay.
Here we go. My first card. Oh, I have watched this guy pitch a lot. He pitched a combined no-hitter for your Seattle Mariners, Mark. It is none other than Kevin Millwood. Big dude. Innings eater. Just like a workhorse. Like he's your number 3, your number 4 guy, and he's never going to miss a spot in the rotation. He's an innings eater, 200 plus every year.
Yep.
Overall, 16 years in the big league. Good grid guy, now that I think about it. Atlanta for 6, Texas for 4, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Cleveland, Seattle, and Colorado. I don't remember Colorado. He actually had a winning record there and an ERA under 4. Huh,
wow.
Let's see. Overall, pretty good. In 2003, he went 14-12. This is his first year in Philadelphia with a 4.1 ERA. I get a 10th of a point here. He led the league in shutouts with 3 this year. Also has some facial hair here on the card. I forgot to mention that. Pitched 222 innings. Struck out 169 for a 99 ERA plus, but a 2.3 WAR. So that'll take me up to 2.5.
Not bad.
Out of the gate. Let's see. Came in 3rd in Cy Young voting in 1999. That was his lone all-star appearance.
He's the kind of guy that just as a manager, you just know he's going to get out there. He's going to use innings.
Yeah.
He's a good pitcher all around.
Oh, I remember this. He was traded by Atlanta to Philadelphia for Johnny Estrada. Johnny Estrada was going to take over. He was the next, take over for Javi Lopez.
That's right.
It didn't work out that great. I'm not sure there's going to be much here pop culture wise for me. I don't see anything. I mean, there's just nothing. All right, but that's a 2.5 for me. I'll take it. It's a strong start. Your first card is going to be with the Chicago Cubs, Corey Patterson. I think he was a solid outfielder. 12 years. That's a great career. 12 years in the big leagues. Cubs for 6, Baltimore for 3, Cincinnati, Toronto, St. Louis, Milwaukee, and the Nationales for years apiece. In 2003, he hit 298, 329 on base for a 839 OPS, a 114 OPS plus. He had 13 home runs, 55 ribs, stole 16 bases, and a 1.8 WAR. There is nothing on this card that is going to help you out, which is, I mean, I had a 2.5 and you've already got a 1.8 here. Let's see. First round pick, third overall in 98 by the Cubs. Was traded by the Blue Jays with Octavio Dotel and Edwin Jackson and Mark Zipchinski to the Cardinals. Those three players, I think, played for every team in the majors twice. Those are three grid all-stars right there. Wow.
Wow, no kidding.
Corey Patterson, pop culture-wise, nothing. We just had him recently because his link is clicked, and I remember this son was committed to play at Georgia Tech before he went off he was signed to play football at Georgia Tech before signing with the Cubs. Nothing else there. I'll take the win.
All right.
Nice. All right. This is me. Oh, I like this. There's no way I'm losing this round. I don't know who your card is, but there's no way I'm losing this round. It's a league leaders card for the American League. It's AL batting average. I get to choose between Manny Ramirez, Mike Sweeney, or Bernie Williams.
Nice.
Now, I'm leaning towards Bernie, and I'll tell you why. This is an AL batting average, so you know he hit well, right? Manny's going to have the home runs, the RBIs. I think they're both going to be all-stars. They're both going to probably have led the league in something, but Bernie's got the Seinfeld bonus.
That's true. This is true.
I think I'm going to go Bernie. I have to. It's got to be. We're going to be on brand.
I think you're right. I think that's a good call. All
right, Bernie Williams. Obviously played for the Yankees in his entire career. 16 years. In 2000, I might have made the wrong choice. All right. Well, I did not remember that he was in the top batting category from the previous year, not the year of the card.
Oh, yes.
In 2002, he had a 4.5 WAR. He hit 333. Had 19 homers, 102 ribs, 146 107 OPS plus. Unfortunately, in 2003 was his downturn.
Uh-oh.
He hit 263, 367 on base, slugged 411, a 107 OPS plus, 15 home runs, 64 ribs, 5 stolen bases, but only a 1.0 WAR. I am going to get 1.0 for the Seinfeld reference.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a 5 o'clock shadow here. I can't call that facial hair.
We don't have to talk about the musician thing, do we?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Is there anything else that would possibly get me any more?
No, I think you got the big chunk with Seinfeld, but I think that's it. You don't get any others for just, for being a good jazz guitarist.
So I think I made a mistake here. Let's just for fun look up Man Ram's numbers here for 2003 All-Star, led the league in on base, intentional base on balls, came in 6th in MVP voting, hit 325, 37 homers, a 5.4 WAR. Okay, I made a bad decision, but I had to stay on brand. All right. I swear we had this guy just a couple of weeks, or maybe last week, Jose Valentin with the White Sox here.
Yep.
All right. This is a different pack, so we do get duplicates. His link is not checked. So, remember there was Valentine and Valentin. This is definitely Valentine, who we have not had and is going to help you with a mustache.
Oh, it's Valentine.
Yeah, it's a Jose Valentine. There is no on this on the card. There is no accent, but it is definitely him, Jose Valentine. So you get a bonus for he's got a mustache. Let's see, for the White Sox, oh, geez, he had a good year. 237 average, 313 on base, slugged 463 for a 100 exactly OPS plus. But he had 28 home runs, 74 ribs, 8 stolen bases, and a 4.0 WAR. So that's good. I didn't mention he played 16 years in the big leagues. Milwaukee for 8, the White Sox for 5, Mets for 2, and then the Dodgers as well. Did not hit well when he got to the postseason, I will tell you that. Was traded for Gary Sheffield by the Padres with Ricky Bonas and Matt Miske. And then he was traded with Cal Eldred to get to the White Sox for Jamie Navarro. Let's see. Anything here that's going to help you? And you don't need it. He has been coaching a lot. Valentin is the older brother of Major League catcher Javier Valentin. But that's it. That's a win for you. Easy win. When you get these leaders cards, it should be an easy win for you, but no. I've managed to
Not
mess it up.
necessarily. Well, yeah. What can you do, man? I think you overthought it.
I did. I did. You know, I was trying to be on brand. It's important. We've got a brand to protect here, Mark.
Well, this is true.
All right. This is a special card. It looks like they made like playing cards where you could play some sort of baseball game. You know, there's no stats or anything on the front. It looks like a playing card, but it says out. Like this is not a good card. But it is with the Cincinnati Reds. It's Austin Kearns. Austin Kearns played 12 years in the big leagues, 5 for Cincinnati, 4 for the Nats, 2 in Cleveland and Miami, and 1 for the Yankees. In 2003, it was his second year in the big leagues. He hit 264, 364 on base, 455 slug for a 117 OPS plus. Had 15 home runs, 58 RBI, believe it or not, 5 stolen bases for the 6'3", 240 Kearns, and a 1.4 WAR. Nothing on this card, which is just a cutout literally of his head, is going to help me. First round draft pick, 7th overall by the Reds in 1998. He was traded for a lot of guys that were base card-esque. I've embraced that from your
base card, yes.
Your
very good
nomenclature.
It's an interesting little piece. When the Cincinnati Reds opened Great American Ballpark in 2003, Kearns became the first Reds player to hit a home run in the new stadium.
All right. So overall, though, that's going to be a 1.4 for me. I'm feeling good, though, because it's a positive, and you've got a manager card.
Oh,
You've got the manager for the Angels, Mike Scioscia. Oh, you got the Simpsons, though, right off the bat.
Yep,
but
we've got that one going on.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be good, since we don't actually use any stats for manager cards. Just know that Mike Scioscia played his entire career for the Dodgers, 13 years, 2-time All-Star, won 2 World Series, and was the manager of the year twice. Well, let's see. If he was manager of the year in 2003 or won a World Series, you should get points for that. But he was not. 2002 is when they won the World Series.
Yeah, so close.
And it doesn't tell me when he was named manager of the year. 47 overall ejections as manager, though.
I could see that.
2002 and 2009. He was the manager of the year. All right. So you have got, you get nothing for his playing career. We've already mentioned his nickname is El Jefe. I mean, I don't like Mike Scioscia, but it's my nickname, so I like that.
That's right.
Hold on. I don't see. Well, he made a second appearance on The Simpsons, but I don't think you can't double that up.
No, I don't think we double up on those.
Otherwise, like Danny Tartable would be like one of the best cards. Like if he was on a leader card, I would take that. Yeah, I think we mentioned before a celebrity endorser of Howard's Appliance and Big Screen Superstore in Southern California.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to squeak out a win by 0.4 of a point with Austin Kearns over Mike Scioscia. All right, it's 2-1. I'm on the brink here. I have got a first card, which is never good. It's a pitcher for the New York Metropolitans, Matthew Peterson. We must have had him before because his link is clicked. Ugh. Never made it to the big leagues. Made it as high as AA in 2010, but that is also 2007 he made it to AAA. but never made it to the big leagues. Therefore, I'm going to guess that he is not. Hey, I don't see anything there. Oh, he's got real stirrups on. How about that?
Well, there you got something.
That's pretty impressive, too. I mean, this is 2000.
It could be enough to win. If I get another manager card.
Yeah, come on, manager card. Yeah. All right, so that is it for me. Matthew Peterson, you'll never believe what card you're going to get. Oh. You have got a Topps All-Star rookie card, which is nice. It's got the little cup on it, but it's outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds, Austin Kearns.
What do you know?
That's his actual card, though. So I can guarantee you that he has got a 1.4 value.
Folks, we don't even have to look this one up.
Yeah, nothing on the card is going to add to that, but it doesn't matter. You've got a 1.4 versus my 10th of a point. So, okay, that was the easy one. So we're tied up. We're tied up at 2 apiece, and I have got a manager card.
Oh, wow.
Now, good thing here is my manager is in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, see.
And he's wearing glasses.
Oh, man.
So that means I have got a 1.1 at least here. Maybe he won Manager of the Year. I think I should get an 80s baseball aesthetic because he's the manager of the Expos. He's in an Expos uniform. It's Frank Robinson.
Very 80s. Oh, there you go.
Frank Robinson, obviously a Hall of Famer, great player. Manager of the Year in, let's see, I doubt it's 2003, 1989 with the Orioles, the year after the bad start, I think, right?
Yeah.
88 was the bad. I did a whole podcast on it, but like heck, I remember. He was only ejected total of 29 times compared to Mike Scioscia's 49. Nicknamed the Judge. I'm pretty sure that's because he was always the judge in Kangaroo Court, if I recall correctly. Now, I might get some pop culture points here. I'm guessing he had to have done some TV, maybe home run derby. He pulled a pistol during an argument in a restaurant. Guest starred in an episode of Yesteryear as himself alongside Ernie Banks and Johnny Bench.
Dang it. Okay.
That's a definite pop culture. So that'll be a 1.6 for a manager card for me. And of course, he just passed away. Or no, I guess he passed away. Wow. Only like 8 years ago he passed away. Didn't realize it was that long ago. All right. So I got a Frank Robinson. You are going up in our winner take all game with a first year card, but I've heard of this guy. I think I'm okay. I don't know. Here he is with the Rays, the Devil Rays. You're going to get nothing from the card. It is Doug Wachter, Waechter.
This is the obvious. Wachter.
I was waiting. You stole it. I wanted to pronounce it right to see how I could work that joke in there.
Darn near killed her. Okay.
Well, we've had him before. Waechter. Doug Waechter. Let's see. Overall, 6 years in the big leagues, 4 with the Rays, and then Florida and Kansas City. 2003, he did appear. He appeared in 6 games, 5 starts, 1 complete game shutty as a rookie. He went 3-2 with a 3.31 overall, 35 and a third innings pitched, only 29 hits allowed, 29 strikeouts, walked 15 for an ERA plus of 134 and a WAR 1.2. 1.2. I've got a 1.6. Are you going to be able to pick up at least 0.4 of a point through pop culture for Doug Waechter?
I truly doubt it.
Waechter. I'm sorry. I already mispronounced his name. I'm not thinking so either. Occasionally has appeared alongside Dwayne Statz covering Rays games. Also serves as a realtor for DMK Group at Douglas Elliman Real Estate. So I am afraid not. And the streak is busted. We're back in the game, boys. My job is safe for another day. It's a tough one to take, Mark.
You know what's funny? I remember Waechter. I think that wasn't that shutout against the Mariners. I think I remember that game.
Let's see.
Who is this guy?
I could have told you already with the old menus, but since I have got to go through all these I hate these so bad. They're ridiculous. No, Oh, yes, it was against Seattle, but it was in Tampa. I was thinking maybe you had worked the game, but yes, he shut out the Mariners.
I remember watching it.
2-hit shutout of the Mariners.
Yeah.
Guess how long the game took? This is 2003. We had 7-0, 13 total hits in front of 8,696 excited fans at Tropicana Field. In September,
yes, for sure.
The Rays are out of it. They're 54-83. What do you think time of game was?
Sounds like a fun one. 3 hours exactly.
It would have been pretty fun. It was 2:07, so you're out of there quick.
Oh, wow. Not quite as quick as the night game in Cincinnati we talked about.
No,
pretty quick.
But close. I mean, close, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
no, I mean.
All right, well, we're tied up again. We're at 9 apiece. So race to 11 wins.
Wow, another battle.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. That'll do it for this version of Wax Packs Heroes. It's also going to wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Just a reminder, you can find more of us just about anywhere. Just do a search for Two Strike Noise. It is TWO Strike Noise. You can also find all of our links in the show notes. A reminder, I do stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 o'clock West Coast time on both YouTube and Twitch. Played a new game today, tried to make it a little baseball. It's Wikipedia Speedruns, which was kind of fun. I got stumped on one of them, but also thinking about putting together some listener-created teams via out-of-the-park baseball. So I want to put together like a World Baseball Classic or a tournament with all-star teams from different decades. So I want to get some listener-created teams in there. So start to think about that. Start to come up with a theme of a decade team. So like I would probably choose the 80s or the 90s. You know, and I have Ricky Henderson, have Max Mattingly, Eric Davis, you know, just my favorite players on those teams. So start to think of some teams like that, Mark, and listeners as well, and we'll try to put this together and we can sim these games out. We also have an email address that once you put together your 25-person roster from a specific decade, you could email them to us, and Mark will tell you about that.
You could. Yeah, you can write to us at Two Strike Noise. That's TWO Strike Noise at gmail.com.
That's the way to do it. All right, everybody, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again on the next episode of Two Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.